Hey everybody, it's the half, I guess, of to be announced comic book news. Robert Jeffrey, and we are here tonight with a live interview with the organizer of the Atlanta Science Fiction and Fantasy Expo, Tony Cade, owner of Challenges, comic book writer, comic book publisher, man of many talents. So sit back, enjoy, and I guess relax. Hey everybody, it's me again. Just here to talk comic books, comic book conventions down here in Atlanta with Tony Cade today. So let's bring him on in and get this started. Hey Tony. Hey, how's it going? It's going good. How about yourself, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just got off work.
And you're still at the shop right now, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
This is a real background back here.
There you go. Those are shells full of cards and comics and all that, right? All the good stuff.
Yep, Magic the Gathering cards.
Awesome. I'm gonna come and steal all those cards and sell them on the black market. To back to your customers. But yeah, we're here to talk about conventions. The season is actually starting. And it seems like sometimes it's getting earlier and earlier. But yeah, the Atlanta Science Fiction and Fantasy Expo back after a 5-year hiatus. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, we call it the COVID hiatus.
The COVID hiatus. The only thing that took the convention out was COVID. So unfortunately, but it's back and bigger than ever. So we're hyped. I'm hyped for it. So I wanted to start off by, tell our listeners or viewers a little bit about yourself, your background.
Well, basically, I'm Tony Cade. I'm the owner of Challenges Games and Comics. Right now, we're over here at North Lake Mall here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I've been in business for like 30 years now. Started in 1994.
Nice.
And I've been involved in Atlanta fandom since like the late 80s.
Wow. Yeah. So the funny thing is I'm trying to keep things like formal and everything with Tony, but one thing I will say is like Tony and I go way back, and I always say that Tony was the guy that got me into writing comic books. Actually, started me off with Terminus Media, and I'm here now, so kind of shout out to him. But he is personally a big fixture here in the city, in pop culture and science fiction and everything. So we're glad to have him here tonight to talk about the convention. But let's kind of dig into what the Atlanta Science Fiction and Fantasy Expo is all about. How did it come into being, and what separates it from other conventions in the area, would you say?
Well, the way the convention actually came to pass is that I was actually hanging out with a couple of guys who ran conventions over at our old Terminus Media studios that we had over in Tucker. I missed that studio. It was nice. But I was hanging out, listening to these guys talk about what it takes to like run a convention. And, I kind of like, got it in my head of like, if these guys can run a convention, I bet I can run a convention. And at the time and stuff, I'd also been talking with Milton Davis and his buddy Balagoon. And we held like a little writers, I guess, symposium at the old Challenges Games and Comics over at North DeKalb Mall. And so that kind of like spurred the idea of doing a convention, even more so. And so, I got together and stuff with, a couple of volunteers and my staff. And we were like, let's do a show. We're going to do it here at the mall. It's going to be free entry, for the public, so everybody can be exposed to it. Because one of the things and stuff that when I first got into the field is that I couldn't afford to go at the time the media convention that was big in town before Dragon Con got big, with the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo.
Right.
All right. Kind of like see the similarities in the name there. But that convention, like I said, I couldn't afford to go to it. It was basically down at the Omni Hotel. But at the time, I got into photography.
Hmm.
And so I basically went down to one of the volunteer meetings and got on the staff to be a volunteer. Because at that time, and so as far as like, nerdom was concerned, I thought I was, doing stuff, because at the time I was like reading comic books, playing chess, and had just recently even gotten to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
All right. And, it was one of those situations and stuff. It's like, I was watching anime, but it wasn't anything that at the time I knew was anime. You remember it was like, it had like Robotech and Battle of the Planets and stuff like that. And we just thought they were cool cartoons. I didn't know that that was what anime was, until I went to, my first convention and saw uncut versions of these. Like, Battle of the Planets was Gatchaman. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they're cursing and they're killing people. And this was not on the versions of the cartoons that I was seeing.
Yeah.
So, that's how I got involved and got more exposed to fandom here in Atlanta.
Well, see, that's the so one of the things you mentioned was, and correct me if I'm wrong, like you volunteered at events like that, different conventions or different like fan related events before doing, I'm just going to say ASFE, or it's Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo. So what would you say that you learned from those, from, working the conventions to, now running your own, with a team, was there anything especially that you learned, that helped you out those years that y'all were doing this convention?
Well, I developed the fact and stuff that a fan-run convention were the kind of shows that I enjoyed going to, that I enjoyed attending. I wasn't really into the conventions that were like corporate run, where it's basically, you pay a fee, you come in, you see a whole bunch of stars lined up in a row, you go up to them and give them a bunch of money for the autograph. If you're lucky, there might be one or two panels, and then you're out the door.
Gotcha.
Okay. Whereas, with, a fan run convention, it's great to have like, your guests and everything there, but it's more activity based. Like even with the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo, people who have like come to it, in the past, they know we usually have like 50 some vendors, but then we also have like, 50 some hours of programming and panels. So, we have workshops, we have showcases, and we have panels where you can actually meet people who are authors and writers and artisans. And you get to hear them talk about their crafts and tell you how they got into the business. So you actually get a chance to learn from those that are doing.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that, coming from the vending side is that when you do a larger convention, and it's just kind of how it's set up, you have the area for like the indie press or like, authors and artists and whatnot. And then like in other cases, you have on the other side, you have larger publishers or larger media entities. And, it just is what it is. And then you have the autograph alley. The thing I love about the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo is that everybody's together. Like, so it forces potential customers, but also fans to like go into that area and not just accidentally, come over to the artist alley and be like, oh, this is crazy. I don't see Deadpool anywhere, but it's cool. And I'm sorry, no shade to Deadpool, because I know that sells comic books for you, but it's cool having everybody grouped together so that the fans and the visitors can just, congregate and, just experience all of that. So I like that, it's just like that central location.
That's one of the things and stuff we learned, from the very first show. As long as, you're a vendor and we got people coming in, as long as you don't sit back and just look like you're disinterested, the money is to be made if you're a vendor. Like I remember we did the very first show and I had the vendors coming to me afterwards. It's like, hey, can you do another one of these in 6 months? And I was like, no, I can't do another one of these in 6 months. You guys don't have any idea how much work it takes to put on one of these shows, But like I said, the vendors were very happy with the turnout. And that was like in the very first show.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much of the thing of like, I just want to do the convention to see if I can do the convention.
Mm-hmm.
But then, afterwards and stuff, I'm sitting there with the staff and they're already talking about, oh man, I can't wait till next year. Imagine what we can do next year. And I was like, next year? It's like, I just want to do this once. And, they all looked at me as like, nah, we're doing this next year. And, you've worked with Tanya Woods. When Tanya looks at you and says, nah, we're doing this next year, what's going to happen?
Yeah. It's going to happen. It's going to happen next year. Well, I mean, that is one thing I was going to ask is like, give a shout out or shine time to the team behind the scenes, because I know it's just not you, right? You're not just at challenges, wearing like 5 different hats, like publisher.
It's never been me.
Yeah.
It's always been, the staff helping out. I'm just a person and stuff that like signs the contracts and, cuts the checks.
There you go.
But it's like, you've, in the past, like I said, you've helped out greatly with the shows in the past. You used to help out and stuff and, help us with all our spotlights that we put on the website. Tanya is there and stuff, and she runs, the website and actually runs programming. Like I said, I definitely couldn't do the show without, her help. Renee Cooper was always like really good with like helping out in past shows. Unfortunately, this year she had to kind of step back. She's got like that married life going on now, and got like family responsibilities. So we've got like some people who've come in and stuff and helped. Kimberly Ware, who does like a lot of different events all around town. She's been coming out and been like a humongous help with us and adding, different things. Good grief. Dan Flores has come on. He's been doing like our social media with his art skills. And, he's one of those people and stuff that's got like a really big following online. And every time you turn around, it's like he's making a post. So he definitely knows how to work the social media and, use his art skills.
Love it.
So like I said, we've got a lot of people who've stepped up.
Nice. There's, so in we kind of looked a little bit at the, the guests or the vendors. What, kind of give us an idea of the vendors that are going to be there, that have confirmed, that they're going to be at the mall.
Now, guess what? I have no clue. Because basically, like I said, all of the vendors have been submitting their vendor requests.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
And that's been going, and Tanya's been handling that.
Okay.
And so she's been sending them out the links and stuff, to see, who's going to be interested and who's going to get what tables and stuff like that. So all I know is that we're usually going to have like, 50 some guys. I don't even know what the lineup looks like yet.
Okay. So of course, on the website,
that guy right there, Greg Burnham. He put in for his table.
I was going to say, Greg Burnham's going to be there. I know Bobby Nash. Both talented writers, comics and prose. Lauren Brown is going to be there. She's a well-known animator and artist, has worked on shows like Archer and video games like The Simpsons Tapped Out. And I think she works as the digital art director of Wizards of the Coast.
That's the claim to fame that's going to have a bunch of people wanting to see her. They put out, Dungeons and Dragons, and they put out Magic the Gathering. And I'm sure a whole bunch of artists out there want to know what's an art director for Wizards of the Coast looking for.
There you go. Dexter Vines. We have, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing her name right. Edit Tempo Thomas, or Edit Tempo Thomas. She's an actress who's worked on Black Lightning and a number of other shows, it looks like, down here. And also the Hawkeye and The Color Purple.
Yeah. Like I said, she's awesome, and she actually, produces her own stuff.
Nice. So okay. So as far as like,
this is just a fraction of the stuff. These are the posts that I've had the time to put up on the website. There's a whole list that I haven't even gotten to yet. We've got people and stuff coming. Like Bob Carter is coming. The voice actor from all the video games. Carrot Memes is coming. I've got people and stuff that are hitting me up. It's like, hey, I'm a voice actor for Transformers. Can I come to your show? And I'm like, yeah, you can come to the show, but I can't pay your plane flight here or guarantee you any money. But, I'll be more than happy to give you a table, And that's one of the things and stuff that we try to stay away from, because I've realized a long time ago working with other people's shows that you can have a media guest, coming to your show, and you can think that people are going to pay money to see them, and you can be wrong. Okay, especially when you got people and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'm coming to your show. I need that first, class plane ticket. I need you to hook me up and set me up in a nice hotel, and I need a guarantee that I'm gonna sell, $4,000 worth of autographs. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what our show's about.
Gotcha.
We are free to the public, because I don't want it to be like I was and stuff, when I was young and I didn't have the money to go to like the bigger shows.
Yeah.
All right. So I had to, if I hadn't been able to get on staff as a photographer, I might not be exposed to all the things that I was exposed to. So the great thing about our show is that it's free to the public. And basically the entire show is paid for by the vendor fees. But as you know, the vendor fees aren't that much money. It's like $125 for 2 days. And even with that $125, you're getting, your table, your 2 chairs, and you get free general admission entry into our cosplay ball.
Yeah. Well, that's a good segue. I appreciate you setting that up. I wanted to talk about the different events that that you're going to have around those 2 days for the convention. You mentioned the cosplay ball. I don't know if you can confirm some of the types of panels that are going to be there, but talk about like these. We focus on the vendors. What about the actual events?
Well, like I said, we're going to have panels. We're going to have workshops. All right. The big nighttime event, something that we haven't done before. We're doing our very first cosplay ball, and that's going to be over at the DoubleTree Hilton. Unfortunately, that's not going to be free to the public.
Okay.
Because whenever you're dealing with hotels, they got to have their money. And unfortunately, I don't have deep pockets like that. So, that's got like a nominal fee, but we've got like general admission to the cosplay ball at only like $30. Okay. Which is like, really, affordable. Nice. And then we also have it where if you're a vendor, you get to the ball for free. Nice. If you get a room at the hotel, you get to the ball for free. So technically, you can still go to the ball for free. You just gotta, help the show out in some other places. And we worked out a really good deal with the DoubleTree Hilton Hotel. Is that the room's only like 130 something a night. It's not bad. But the way it works is that we've got it reserved for 2 double kings or 2 double queens. All right, because you know how people are going to conventions like to pack in the rooms. All right, for everybody that you say is staying in that room, they also get free breakfast. There you go. Awesome. All right, so we're talking about a situation. We're not talking about like a continental breakfast where they're giving you some waffles and some cereal. We're talking about an American continental Southern breakfast. There you go. We got plenty of proteins, fruits, yogurts, juices, everything. All right. So, and I like to tell everybody there's meat, So it's not just the cantaloupe and cereal, right? Right. Not just so, it's one of those situations you get a room with 4 people in them, everybody throws in $40. You get to stay at a Hilton and you get a breakfast for $40. You can't beat that deal. Nice. Unfortunately and stuff, we've only got like a few days for people to reserve the rooms for that. I think the deadline for that is coming up on the February 21st. Okay. And but the cool thing about it is that by reserving your room, you don't have to pay right now. Because I know some of us are still kind of like hurting from Valentine's Day. Yeah. So we got to wait for a little bit more money to get back in that bank account. I mean, some of us are hurting for life. So, so I get it. But yeah, it's good that, and I think the DoubleTree is just 10 minutes away. If that from 10 minutes, it's basically across the parking lot. Okay. Like it's been a minute since I've been over in Tucker. I mean, I don't remember
where the hotel was at in relation to the place. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's not that far. So,
Oh yeah, man. The great thing about it and stuff is like the show, the hotel, and the mall are basically right there at 285 on La Vista Road.
there you go. So
So it's just right inside the perimeter.
Nice. And for people outside the state, that's a big circle that surrounds Atlanta. It just goes around and around. So I wanted to ask, looking at some of the art that we have up, who did this banner? Who did this like piece of art for for the logo?
Oh, well, that's my longtime buddy, known him since the '80s, Joe Phillips.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, I love it. It's like every comic book, type of character is represented. You got a little bit of the Shadow, Nubia. I see He-Man, down there a little bit, and I always forget the Golden Age character from DC with the Rocket Pack. But yeah, this is this is the press release. We wanted to see a little bit of the little various things that are going to be happening at the convention. Can we get the next page pulled up and kind of see what's going on, see if there's more information. Okay, and this is just kind of breaking down the who, what, when, where, how. How has the I would say the reception from like the press, the media, geek media, how's that been going for you, with spreading the word about the convention, and then also like the non-geek media, because I saw something in the caterish, right?
Yeah, the caterers.
Okay.
In the past and stuff, the caterers, besides covering the convention, has also been a sponsor of the expo. So we're very happy with Dan Wisenhunt over there at the caterish. He's a fan himself. So he's always trying to help out and support. Like I said, we did like most people do with like an event. We've sent press releases out there, and hopefully people hit us back up and want to do articles on us.
Okay.
I actually, like I said, next week and stuff, I think I actually have to go over to DeKalb County, and they've got their own show, which supports tourism and stuff here in the DeKalb County, and I'm going to be on the show for them.
Okay.
So it's like, I've been, trying to do my best to let people know, because it's like I've heard many times from many other conventions, people are like, oh, well, I'll go, but I didn't know about it. So we're trying our best, to let people know about it. Let people know that we're back. Because like I said, for the 5 years we originally were doing the show, we always had great turnout.
Okay.
And everybody kept saying that they missed us, and everybody kept saying, Tony, you need to bring the show back. So at this time, it's like, okay, guys, I brought the show back. Now y'all got to show up and support.
There you go. Well, one of the things that I appreciate is that you're doing a convention in DeKalb County. For people outside of Georgia, that's one of the major counties near Metro Atlanta, and we don't have many conventions in DeKalb. So it's good that you're closer to 85, but it's also central enough that people around the metro area can come to the small, and parking's on point. It's a free show, and you can just show up and have fun, and you can buy plenty of stuff. So, personally, thank you for doing the show in DeKalb County. So, because sometimes it's a drive trying to get to some of these places, which is not bad because the shows are usually good. But that's what I've always liked about this being held in Decatur and now Tucker. So, for the local talent.
Well, great thing about it is you ain't got to pay for all that downtown parking. That's expensive.
Yeah. I mean, you can hop on MARTA, but then it's just it's that whole thing of like parking, get on, just all that. But it's cool to have a variety of options, because we have cons in Gwinnett, we have it downtown, Cobb, and all around like south of the city, South Fulton. So it's good that you've added to that variety, which is with this show. So we appreciate that. So, but and one of the things one of the things that this reminds me of is, what's the audience like? How many is it? Just young, older? What who have you seen come out to those conventions throughout over the years?
Yeah, our show is for everybody.
Okay.
Young to old, in between, and every shade of melanin and non-melanin there is. Everybody comes to the Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo. Like I said, it's a show that's for everybody.
Nice.
And like I said, we spotlight, everyone. But no one feels and stuff that they're left out of our show.
Nice. Yeah, and that's like I said, that's another thing in the years past, we will have everybody come through, to the tables, just kind of, checking out the books. And the thing that I also loved was that in North DeKalb, you were in the mall with a movie theater. So some people were forced to walk past, the convention to get to the movie theater. But one thing that I always would notice is that you would have like parents walking with their kids, and then their kids would like lock eyes with like the comic books and the posters, and then they'd be like, Dad, Mom, let's go and check that out. So it's good, like I said, it's good that you have something that's open for the public. Sometimes there may be conventions where that's not the case, but it's good to see that it's like open for everybody.
Oh yeah. And like I said, the mall has been like really helpful, for setting things up. And this mall is like really set up and nice for being able to do a show in an expo.
Yeah.
One of the things, the stuff I like is we've got this really nice staircase that's similar to the staircases that are over at the Hyatt downtown that people do the photo shoots on. Well, we got that same thing here, but it's actually indoors.
Okay. Nice.
And it's lighted. So, I can't wait to see what the group photo shoots are going to look like over there. Plus, we're going to be using that same area from when we do our costume contest and our showcases.
Awesome.
So it's almost like ready built for us. And then another thing and stuff that's really great about this spot is that Emory has put in a science and art museum. And it's got its own little like panel rooms and everything. And we're going to be using it for a lot of our STEAM related programming. We're working with Emory on that. And, like I said, it's about trying to get all the vendors in the mall involved too, so that they can take advantage of all the people that are going to be coming, to the show. I actually had a meeting today that was a pop-up meeting with representatives from Macy's.
Okay.
And Macy's is interested in getting involved in our fashion showcase and also our costume contest.
Wow. That's amazing, man. that's
also, the Dugans. I don't know how long have you been in Atlanta?
95.
Okay, 95. Well, you remember then. Yeah. You remember the Dugans that was down on Ponce that everybody used to go to after they got through doing their nightclub partying?
Yeah.
Well, that one has now moved to this mall.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right, and they are going to be working with us for some different events that we're going to be doing. That's
awesome, man. That's awesome. One thing I was going to ask, so are you guys going to have like food trucks? And I know there's a food court at the mall. Like, what's that going to be like? Or like as far as like the eating situation? And I know Antonio would be very hyped for me to ask about that.
Well, as far as the food is concerned right now, we don't have any food trucks that are planned.
Okay.
But I've been warning the food vendors that are here about all the people that are going to be coming through. Right now, we've got like a Tokyo Express that's located here in the mall, and it is awesome. You can get like 2 meats and a vegetable, for like $10.
Yeah.
And they pile it in. Okay. So you're not going to worry about, having to spend like $10 for like a single hot dog, like you will at the convention and stuff down, at the hotels downtown. You're actually going to be able to get like, 2 veggies, and a meat, or 2 meats and a veggie, for like $10. And they actually have like smaller deals also. But, I'm like, just go ahead and get the $10 deal so you can get your money's worth. Plus, like I said, for people, might not be at a Tokyo Express, there's an American Deli.
Yeah.
All right. And American Deli is also here in the food court. And I also said that there's the Dugans.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, you can go up there and stuff and get your traditional American, bar food. You got your wings, you got your burgers, You got the Philly cheesesteaks. You got your, quesadillas. All of that's up there, and their menu is very affordable.
Nice. Nice.
Plus you don't want to get your little drink on. You got that option too.
Yeah, don't come to the convention lit though. Just just keep that at the house or at Dugan's at least for a little bit. But so that's good to know that there are places on site, and if you want to in that area, I know Tucker's a pretty big area, at least for like the food options. So I know that's important.
Just right up here around the corner, you've got what is it? You got a Checkers, an IHOP, and a Waffle House.
And I think
that's just crossing the street.
Yeah,
there's talking about when you cross the street the other way. There's tons of food options here.
Yeah,
but I'm like, there's no really going to be any reason to leave the property.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like everything is coming together in a very awesome way. And like I said, as somebody who has vended or attended, the convention, I'm very happy to hear that, because I remember, back in 2020 when y'all had to shut it down, rightly so, a lot of us were like, oh man, we can't do the Atlanta Science Fiction and Fantasy Expo, because it was one of the shows that I myself and a bunch of us look forward to. So I'm glad to see everything coming back together. So I appreciate that as a fan and as a vendor. Since we're kind of getting close to kind of wrapping things up, I wanted to say, is there like any maybe like final words or like the elevator pitch, like you used to tell me, you used to talk to me about, or taught me about, the elevator pitch. What's your elevator pitch for attending the Atlanta Sci-Fi Science Fiction and Fantasy Expo?
You caught me off guard on that one then.
Yes, you editor. You take that, editor.
Here it is. It's like we got panels, we got workshops, we got cosplay, we got authors, we got guests, we got gaming, everything that you could probably want in a pop culture event, we've got at the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. And the number one thing is it's free to attend.
Yep.
So you can have fun, and it's free to attend. And like I said, we worked out great deals. If you want to get your party on, we got the cosplay ball for you. If you want to come in from out of town, I've already got incredible hotel deals worked out for you, where you can get, a hotel room and a great breakfast at a reasonable price. So we've got everything set up here for you. All you got to do is come on down, have fun, and, make sure, you give some money to the vendors, that you're saving, not having to buy a ticket, and, make the vendors happy.
That's what's up.
Because the vendor fees are what makes this show possible. And so, you guys got to get back to the vendors.
Give us a couple of website for your store and the website for the convention.
Well, the convention is just AtlantaSciFiExpo.com.
Okay.
Real easy. And we're at my store is challengesgames.com.
Nice. Yeah, and as soon after you spend money with the vendors, then go and spend money at Challenges, even after the convention, before and after the convention, as much money as possible. But Tony, we appreciate you joining us, or I guess joining me or whatever, but joining the show. Antonio does the hosting, I do the co-hosting, but we appreciate you coming on, talking about the convention, and my hope is that we get everybody in Atlanta coming to this event.
I hope so too. Like I said, everybody said they wanted it, so I brought it back. And like I said, we're still taking panel applications on the website. So you go to the website, and it says present. That's what you put in for your panels. And we are not sold out yet on our vendor tables. Okay. So go ahead and put in for your vendor tables. And don't be those guys that usually do this. Like the week before, they hit me up. Yo, Tony, man, can you give me a table? It's like, come on, dudes. Go ahead, apply for the table now. We've got our stuff. I'm not asking any money from you till March 1st, 2 weeks before the show. It's economical.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the last minute.
There you go. Don't be last minute.
Oh, and go ahead and put in your room reservation for the hotel The link is also on the website, because that room block with that free breakfast for everybody in your room. Remember, I said everybody in the room, free breakfast. Okay, they're only holding that for like a few more days.
Okay.
So you need to go ahead and get that reservation in, and you don't have to pay till you get there.
It's the best part.
Because when that room deal goes away, it's gone. Nothing I can do.
So don't be late. Free food. Support your vendors, and enjoy life.
Yes.
So thank you, Tony, for coming through, and thanks everybody for watching now and in the future. And check out the convention, the Atlanta Science Fiction, Sci-Fi, and Fantasy Expo.
Hope to see you all there.